Good morning, America. Today I would like to introduce you an extremely famous figure who will be debating with us on a very controversial issue that seems to be existing nowadays. Although we as society might not agree with such views, the speaker who will be with us tonight has much proof and strong arguments to make against this. Please welcome with us Susan D. Anthony.
My name is Susan Ronald Anthony. To introduce myself, I was born in February 15, 1820 in Massachusetts. I was brought up in a family with long activist traditions. I thank God that He gave me the power to develop a sense of justice in a time period where such aspects do not exist. Even though most girls did not receive an education, my father believed in equal treatment for boys and girls, and so I attended a private boarding school in Philadelphia. My acquaintance with my friend Elizabeth Stanton led me to join the women's rights movement in 1852, and ever since that time period, I have dedicated my life to women's suffrage that is going on nowadays, and which we will be discussing today.
According to my information, you are trying to fight for the right of women to vote. Well, don't you know that in order to have a successful government, the decision on who gets to vote should be wise? I mean, voting shouldn't be for everyone. Men and women have different roles, and both roles are respected, but there should be limits, and women should know which roles they are supposed to be doing.
Women are persons and citizens of these United States. Excuse me in what I'm about to say, but you and this society as a whole do not understand is that women are officially granted the right to vote, but society decides to neglect them. If women are citizens, which they are, then they have the right to vote. It does not take any logic to figure this out. Not long ago, I got arrested for casting a vote in the presidential election of in 1872. And I was tried, then fined $100, but I refused to pay. Now, why did I refuse to pay? Because I did not commit any crimes. I simply used one of my rights as a citizen.
No offense, but I completely disagree with your illogical view. Society as a whole believes that the rights that women have are suitable for their roles, and that there should be a limit to the rights that they gain. Married women's legal existence is incorporated to that of her husband's. The place for a woman is at home, and not in the affairs of the government.
This is exactly why I have chosen to remain single. I have chosen to remain single to prove this ideology wrong and to devote my life to securing the rights of all women as citizens and as people. Such fallacious arguments are not ones that would convince educated women as myself and as all the other women who received an education or who at least can think logically. The people of this country must live by the name of it, the United States. If this is true about this country, then all citizens of this country must unite to make political decisions as one. Such decisions should not be left to the male citizens of this country. It should be a united decision, the decision of the whole country, the decision of the United States.
I don't know what to say, but I think that women are going to make unwise decisions if they vote. They do not have this ability, and I don't think they are ready for such a right. They should maintain their roles as housewives, and that should be enough for them. Why would they want to involve themselves in politics? I mean, it's a man's job to make strong, objective decisions about what is best for the country. The law divides the rights. That does not mean that women are receiving less. It only means that the rights are divided accordingly. And I don't think they could have been more or just or fair. What do you think?
If women are persons, which they are, then they are citizens. And if they are citizens, then they have the right to vote. No law has the right to forbid a woman from this right, or from such liberty or freedom. No just law should have the right to discriminate against women in any way. Such stereotypes must be eradicated, and I will work on accomplishing that. I will work on amendments that will pass, and I am sure of that, and I'm sure that they will pass by the support of every woman who out there who feels as confident and as passionate about this as I do, and will be put to this situation. And I know I can achieve that along with the other women out there.
I think that's enough for today. Thank you for being with us. Good night, America. Good morning, America. You are watching The Reflection. Today I would like to welcome a heroine, a woman who made a difference, a woman who fought and struggled to accomplish her dream. But it wasn't just a dream, it was every woman's dream. It was the dream of justice, of freedom, of liberty, and finally the dream of equality. Let us welcome Susan B. Anthony.
Thank you, thank you. This introduction brought back memories. However, they aren't necessarily pleasant memories. Back in the day, before you or anyone in this generation was born, I was interviewed, but the interviewer did not praise me like you just did. Instead, he was attacking me and criticizing my views about women's suffrage. This man was so sure that I wouldn't be able to accomplish this dream. And he was so sure that the situation would remain. Now, I don't know if this man was right or not. I thank God that he gave me such a long life because now I can see the current situation.
Well, we are pleased to have a woman like you with us today. You have had a major universal impact on individuals. I'm sure this man is wrong because the main proof is that women today have rights and they can vote. This shows that your work matters and that you really did make a difference, and that such discrimination does not occur anymore, and now women are treated with equality.
Don't be so sure about that. Gender discrimination is evident on every corner in every country. Women are still looked upon as inferior. Men are still dominant over the women in many countries. Men continue to hold the high political positions in society. Even if women are granted rights presently, they are still discriminated against indirectly. Let's take a closer look. In poor societies and in uneducated cultures, women are treated the way that they were treated back in the days, back in my days. They are still expected to perform their roles as housewives and are expected to stay out of the fields of the working fields and of the fields of their husbands. Voting is not the only factor that determines equality. It is the way the women are treated in general that determines such equality.
But I believe you're talking about minor existences. I mean, this kind of discrimination only occurs in poor societies where the illiteracy rate is major, and so they do not understand the concepts of equality and justice. However, this does not occur in societies where education plays a role.
I believe that you should know better than that. You're an interviewer. This occurs everywhere, whether it is a poor, uneducated area or a rich, educated area. This became a natural instinct in human beings. Look at the revolutions, for example. The revolution taking place in Egypt, let's say. The women voted and went down to protest in the streets, which is absolutely fascinating. But what happened to them? They got harassed and degraded on the streets of their country by the men of their country. Not only in revolutions, but the percentage of sexual harassment and rape taking place these days is just unbelievable.
But you should also understand that it's a natural instinct for men to go get attracted to women, and that women should understand the consequences of going to such areas.
Women, women, women. The blame is always on them, isn't it? The men rape the woman, and then those women report the incident, and then society blames it on the woman. Since you're interviewing me in Egypt, let us talk about Egypt. The woman gets raped sexually or sexually harassed, and then she reports it. Then society puts the blame on her, calls her sinful, says that she's the one who brought it to herself, and her reputation gets crushed because of society's blame. So the next time it does happen to another woman, she keeps quiet and does not speak of the incident, and it keeps going on, and the disrespect for women continues.
I guess I'll have to agree with you, because this is evident, but the situation could get better with education.
I hope so, but I'm sure that gender discrimination is still evident everywhere. In this country and in so many other countries, it became universal. I really hope that individuals educate themselves on the real meaning of equality. And I can't live forever, so I can't witness the future. But I hope someone else leads the way.
Yeah, he hopes.
Earlier this week, we interviewed an extremely influential woman known as Susan B. Anthony. She talked about women's rights and how she struggled and dedicated her life for women's rights and women's right to vote. Unfortunately, this great woman, who made a major difference, was the reason behind the amendments that allowed women to vote, has passed away. May she rest in peace. She mentioned how an interviewer interviewed her before and attacked her about her views. and said that in the past, women were considered by the presence of their men or husbands, and that women faced extreme oppression. Then she said that this oppression continues, and I believe she is correct, because women are still looked upon as inferior. Although this situation changed, and now they have more rights and they are able to vote, they are still looked down upon in society. No wonder the harassment rate is so high. 83% of women in Cairo have been sexually harassed, and 98% of foreign women in Cairo said they have been harassed as well. This might be argued against by saying that people in Cairo are not educated enough, or maybe the victim was dressed inappropriately, but that never justifies sexually harassing a woman. I believe that Susan B. Anthony was right, and that she hoped to see the change, and that what she has worked for her entire life might be achieved someday. To her last breath, Susan never lost hope. Then why should we? I will unite with every woman who wants to see this change, and we will lead the way just like Susan B. Anthony, and we will make this woman proud, and we will prove to the world that her accomplishments matter. And as Theodore Roosevelt once said, if at first you don't succeed, you should try and try again. Thank you and good night.